In the gospel this Sunday, and in a lot of the readings, we kind of turn the church's attention to the end of the world. And I know, at least for me, turning our attention to the end of the world right now, it feels like it's already been done. And I don't want to focus on the darkness anymore. I don't want to focus on all the things that have ailed our lives. I don't want to focus on the fact that this world is ending. But here we are. We're in the first Sunday of Advent again, and that's where our focus goes. It goes on to the end of the world. And we have this. We have it in the gospel, where Jesus even says himself to the disciples that there will be signs, and the sun and the moon and the stars and the earth will all be in dismay, and that things are coming to an end, and that people will die, but not just of cataclysmic death, but they'll die just of fright of the signs that we see. And I don't want to go into the specifics of it, but if you do look out in the world today, there are so many signs and there are so many things that will kind of capture our attention and make us focus on the darkness, and there's a lot of fright out in the world. But the Lord doesn't just warn us of the disaster to come. He prepares us and gives us the encouragement to not become drowsy, to not become so worn down and become beaten down with carousing and drunkenness and anxiety, or to allow the final day to catch us like a trap. The world's going to end. I'm going to die. We're all going to die. That should not be a shock to anybody. But the invitation here is that there's something more offered to us. There's something more than the world around us. There's something more than what the world promises. That there is a light that comes out of the darkness. There is a hope in the midst of chaos. There's something more for us here. There is the promise of human fulfillment. There is the promise of a union with God. As we progress through these Sundays of Advent, the challenge is for us is to find that light of God. How is the light shining out from the darkness? And the only way we're going to get there is by a relationship with Him. Prayer is not something in the abstract. Prayer is not this thing that I do for 5 minutes in the morning or in the evening. Prayer is not even the 60 minutes that I spend in Mass on Sundays. But prayer is this ongoing and deepening relationship with our God, that we have to sit down and allow Him to speak. How can light shine in the darkness? Well, you look at a candle. You look at the flickering flame in a dark room, and the light is shining no matter how dark that room is. Or you look at the church when it's ready for Sunday, and if I turned off all the lights, the 8 candles that are going to be lit on and around my altar would shine out for the whole church to be lit by. In other words, to find the light of God in the world, I have to know where to look. I have to look at God. Where is He? Let Him reveal Himself to you. Sit still, right? Advent is a time of busyness. The world tells us to be busy, to go shopping and go to parties and to do this and to decorate the house and to hang lights. Fine. But Advent in the church ought not be a busy season. It really ought to be a 4-week period of sitting still, sitting in the darkness, but looking at the light. It should be a 4-week period of allowing God to speak to us and to change us. People all the time, and myself included, we complain that we don't know how to pray. Well, the answer is to do it. Just as the same as I'm speaking to you and you're listening to me, just as the same as I have a relationship with a friend and we speak and listen to each other, so true is a relationship with God. You will never learn, I will never learn, we will never advance in prayer if we don't just sit still. Speak to Him. Read the Scriptures. Let the gospel come to life in your imagination and hear His voice. The light shining in the darkness is God. We need Him. Come to Him.